is so the whole book is based on these four agreements, and the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. So meaning that you have to be careful about the words you choose. Words are powerful.
Well, I think before we dive into the agreements, I think like a little brief about like so our we are run by these agreements that we tell ourselves or rules that are
Mm.
put upon us from when we were little. And so we have all these rules and agreements in our brain, and we call it the
Yeah,
minate.
yeah.
And so basically, they're saying like our brain has 1,000 voices talking all at once, and each voice is different and has a different thing that they're telling us. And some of them are good, a lot of them are bad. We're rewarded on we have punishments and rewards the way we're raised, and so it establishes these thoughts and these agreements in our brain that allow us to be who we are, basically the rules that we live by, and the basically the voices that we're talking about. So what this is telling us is how to change the negative self-talk by coming up with positive agreements. These four are the most simple forms, and if you can do this, you're going to live a free life. So, go ahead.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So the first agreement is basically, and the four agreements are the ones that he recommends you live by. So the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. This agreement is about being careful with with the words you choose. Words are powerful tools. When you speak, you can either build people up or tear them down. Impeccable means to be perfect without flaw. So when we say be impeccable with your word, we're talking about using these words in a way that is honest, kind, and respectful. Yeah, I mean, this is something that I feel like I think about a lot. It's like if I say that I'm gonna be somewhere, if I say that I'm gonna get this done, if I say that, I can do this, then I'm
You're
gonna
going to do it.
figure out a way to do it
Mm,
because I don't wanna I'm not a liar.
right.
I don't wanna be seen as someone who can't come through
Right.
whenever I say I'm gonna do something. That's the part I think is really important.
Agreed. And then, it goes into like gossiping. So like that's
Mm.
a negative form of communication. But like that's the biggest thing that I've learned, especially going through the divorce and everything like that, was like our communication was shit. And so really learning how to communicate in the words that we use to communicate and how we communicate. And that's been one of the biggest things that I've been working on for a really long time. I've never been a gossiper, haven't ever really partaken in that. So that was an easy thing to like, that didn't really resonate with me just because I'm not a gossiper. The way you communicate and speak to others in a positive way, you know, in like not putting people down, because that's basically you're putting your thoughts and agreements onto them, which then they can take in and turn and that becomes a negative agreement for them. And so making sure that you're just continuing to spread positivity and be positive in the way you speak.